You're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Big up to my good vibes you send me. Make sure you are showing up for yourself and loving yourself to infinity and beyond. Now let's get into the video. Indeed we shall. Pay a like, pay a comment, pay a sub, pay attention. Let's get it.
Project Bluebeam. Can you describe what that is?
Well, that's another subculture term that's been attached to a series of projects that involve what the Pentagon, what they call a deceptive indication and warning, or a false INW, which is a false flag. And it's the ability to stage, through very advanced technologies, an alien attack or an alien event. And it's a whole series of them. Now, what most people don't know about, since late 50s, early 60s, like the Barney Hill case and all that, those were all human assets abducting innocent people made to look alien. And so that psychological warfare was authorized in 1953, 54. 1954, we mastered gravity control. So we started deploying these assets to begin to condition the public that there's a scary threat from outer space. I mean, look at Hollywood, Alien, Ridley Scott's the movies. If you want to see a script for what's coming fairly soon, look at the movie Independence Day. Okay. It's right at a central casting for this covert group. So what their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds. Okay. And that's been a...
The Air Force is on record as saying, quote, they want to control the weather by 2025. And we are not talking about just seeding the clouds for rain. Weather modification means, quote, any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere, unquote. And as of April this year, there are more than 150 different weather modification programs around the world. Since about 2000, the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been spraying the entire United States sky with the toxic brew of chemicals and other biologic agents. Just want to show you something. We have two different kinds of trails in the sky right now. One are called contrails. How many of you know what contrails are? Contrails would have been around from the ends of planes since World War II. These are very, very short exhaust trails that usually evaporate within a few minutes. You just look up at the sky and you'll just see a jet, sometimes with 4 trails, but it evaporates pretty quickly. How many of you know what chemtrails are? Nobody. The military and some commercial planes are spraying us with what are called chemtrails. I want you to look at and oftentimes before there's a weather front, there are heavy assaults from these planes just before a weather front is changed and comes in. Military and some commercial jets have been fitted with huge barrels of at least 49 different kinds of documented chemical poisons. Among other documented ingredients in this toxic man-made clouds are pathogenic molds, fungi, weaponized viruses, and made in some places like the secret site at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is supposed to be a cancer site. But there are a number of scholars and professors tracking this that have big questions about this. Barium and nanoaluminum particles. What do these do to the human body? Barium is an alkaline earth mineral. It was discovered in 1774. At low doses, it can act as a muscle stimulant. At high doses, it detrimentally affects the heart and the nervous system. Barium is toxic to all mammals, and that means not just humans. Aluminum, which is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, is known to diminish kidney function, and destroy brain cells and cognitive function. Just think about it. Just between the aluminum and the mercury that we're breathing all the time, we've got already a serious issue about brain function and cognitive function. There is also documented evidence that the aluminum in chemtrails is released as nanoparticles, and that when they reach the Earth environment for wildlife in lakes and streams, it's causing serious problems with wildlife there. Researchers are also finding that nanoparticles interfere with the growth of plants. Nanotechnology is totally unregulated. Just this past month, a new research report came out showing and documenting for the first time that these nanoparticles actually go through the skin. Well, if you breathe them, whether they go through the skin or whether you're inhaling them, it's still a problem, a serious problem.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law.
What do you feel about the weather being controlled and manipulated? I feel like there is a severe thunderstorm alert on the 3rd of June in Las Vegas right now. That's how I feel about it. Let me know your thoughts if you've had any weird, sketchy weather in your neck of the woods lately.
I would like for somebody to explain to me what this is. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Cat Williams is a part of a secret society or is a Mason. Now, I am not saying that that is true. Of course, I want y'all to do y'all's research and let me know, because these pictures really creeped me out. Now, what I found suspicious or interesting is that he's wearing that same necklace in the video where he speaks on Diddy. Now, obviously, there are other celebrities that are Masons. We have Shaq and also Jay-Z, and another was Denzel Washington. Now, I will say that Denzel Washington is actually no longer a Mason. He recently got baptized. So, shouts out to him. Again, I'm not saying that Cat Williams is on the other side. I'm just saying that those pictures definitely had me side-eyeing him. I don't know who or what to trust anymore. But what do y'all think?
Jim Carrey is actually trying to tell us something.
This time I run in to Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream?
It's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's
uplifting.
the thing. It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
Okay.
By the way, this video is scripted and for entertainment purposes only. Stay weird.
I see a lot of people asking why now when it comes to the truth being exposed.
To answer that question, you have to fully understand what the age of Aquarius is. Somebody asked me to break down what the age of Aquarius is, so let's do it. Age of Aquarius is also known as the age of truth. And us who y'all love to label conspiracy theorists, aka the realists, been telling y'all for forever, but y'all love to listen to people like Cat Williams. Since he said it, I guess it's golden now. This is the era where we're going to transition from that low vibrational antichrist energy, and we're transitioning to the high vibrational Christ consciousness. This is the return of Christ that they've been talking about. It's an actual consciousness, not a person. Let me be clear, this isn't just about religion. This is about an energetic vibrational shift as a collective. For centuries, we've been living under the age of Pisces. This is where secrecy, control, and manipulation ruled. That's why the world that we've known previously has been filled with nothing but lies and distraction. Whether it's religion, the government, or even the entertainment industry. But y'all know Hollywood has been one of the biggest culprits, using music, movies, and media to keep us distracted and at a low vibration and frequency. The thing about the Aquarius energy, that won't allow it to last. Aquarius is all about innovation, truth, and independence. All about breaking away from old systems of control and tapping into higher levels of consciousness. Now you may be wondering why so many music artists are dropping subtle hints in their music videos and performances. About Kendrick Lamar and They Not Like Us video where he put those shipping containers in them. In the media, they know most people just watching a video for entertainment. Fast forward to now, we talking about the shipping containers and the reference to children screaming in there. If you was paying attention from the beginning and actually listening to the words and not just using the video for entertainment, then you would have already known what was going on with those shipping containers. You would have also seen that they're not just normal shipping containers. They had ACs in them. Come on, y'all. Think about certain people that's in the industry that's been giving the truth. Now, did you ever stop to ask yourself about controlled opposition? That's basically where they give you the truth and mix a lot of lies in it. So it's harder for you to decipher what's real and what's fake. Look at eyebrow-raising, for instance. I mean, everything she's been saying been spot on and she ain't been sued yet. There's a lot of people out there saying that she is controlled opposition. I mean, they said the same thing about Cat Williams. In the world we live in today, how would you even know? This done got so bad, we don't even know what's real from fake. I could put a video up right now and everybody gonna go in the comments arguing about whether it's real or if it's fake. Most people can't even tell. Now imagine the stories that they give us on a daily. Even though I don't want to bring his name up, this whole Diddy case is getting on my nerve. I'm honestly tired of hearing about it. I ask myself in that situation, who is he the fall guy for? Who did he piss off? If they saying he's in jail, is it really him? Just know they only going to give us bits and pieces. And they're not going to tell you everybody that was involved. Because like I said, he's the fall guy. One to keep you distracted. And they throwing out some bogus ass stories now. They're going way too far with it. But most people just sitting there eating it up. I will literally believe anything from the same people that's been lying to you for your whole life. They only putting it in our face because of karmic retribution. They know with them universal laws, they have to reveal what they doing. So they hide the truth in plain sight because they know most won't believe it anyway. They want to be able to say, see, we told them. They just didn't see it. But the beautiful part is we moving into a frequency where those lies will not uphold anymore. Age of Aquarius is pushing us towards a collective awakening. Most people are starting to see through the veil and starting to question narrative. I'm saying starting because this shit has been going on for forever. If you go back and look at some of them song lyrics, you're going to see just how predatory they are. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do my next video on that. But yeah, this new age is making us reclaim our power. Basically saying you can't play in our face no more. It's not just about what we see in the media. It's happening on a spiritual level too. Stepping into an era where love, unity, and higher awareness is our new normal. Systems that were built on fear and division, they're crumbling. Moving into a space of self-mastery and truth. As we start tapping into that Christ consciousness, we realize the power has always been within us. Age of Aquarius is about freedom, universal connection. Like I said before, innovation. Just look at the technological advancements. I mean, just think about AI. Don't come to a point where we don't rely on outside sources to tell us what's real. It's about tuning into those new frequencies that are guiding us into a new paradigm. So pay attention to the signs and symbols being dropped by these celebrities. I'm not saying to get hung up on it. When you start reading between the lines, you notice how everything is connected. This is the time to elevate. Ask questions and to seek the deeper truths that's hidden beneath the surface. The fall of Hollywood is just the beginning. And no matter who like it or not, the age of truth is here. And the old world can no longer survive in these higher frequencies. That's the true new world order. We are rising into the light, and there's no turning back. Make sure y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching. We definitely have another mass awakening taking place. I think we all see the synchronicities. We've all, had that wait a minute moment. And yeah, sure. But I can't agree with everything, because biblically speaking, everyone is supposed to know. I don't think everyone knows just yet. Everyone is supposed to know. But yeah. Tell me what you guys think.
When we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me? Yeah. What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick. Oh, I'm dropping dimes tonight. I've had a long year, Mr. Lipton.
We're on our way. What did you mean, Dave, when you described your father's death in 1998 as the beginning of a terrible decline?
I was 23 when I was doing Half Baked. I was getting ready to turn 24. And I was going through all the things that a dude goes through when it goes from one level to the next. I was starring in a movie that I wrote. So things start getting crazy around you.
Yeah.
And my 24th birthday was coming on August the 24th, and I said, this is going to be a big one. And the morning that I turned 24, phone rang, and my sister was like, Dad had a stroke. For the next year, I watched my father teeter on life and death. And it was just all this stuff, man. Like Dad was down, the Half Baked didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I was real upset about that.
You ever heard about the Marilyn Monroe theory?
No, what is that one?
You never heard about that?
What about her?
So there's a theory about Marilyn Monroe being assassinated by the Kennedys.
No way.
You never heard about this?
No.
So this was huge back in the day. This was huge.
Yeah.
So Marilyn Monroe, right? She was almost famous for having an affair with John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
She was known about that, right?
Yeah.
Now, what happened was, allegedly, it wasn't just John F. Kennedy, but also her brother. Okay. Now, Marilyn Monroe didn't necessarily fall in love with John F. Kennedy, but really fell in love with his brother.
No shit.
And listen. So pretty much what happened was, she fell so in love with him, and she was trying to convince him to leave his family and leave his wife so they can be together, but he wouldn't do that, right? Now, one time, this is like a famous video too, and a famous song. You might recognize it, where she sang, "Happy birthday, Mr. President."
What? No.
Remember that? Remember that song?
Yeah.
So that was like a huge performance, and apparently that was her trying to leak the information that they had affairs, that she was doing things with the Kennedys, right? Now, theory goes, so as we know, Marilyn Monroe, she died of a drug overdose. That's what it said as is, right?
Yeah.
And she died from taking sleeping pills, and specifically the drug and a chemical compound that's in her system was from the sleeping pills.
Yeah.
The first detective on the scene to investigate Marilyn Monroe's body said there's foul play, and it was likely that somebody injected her with this compound, this chemical compound, the same chemical that's in the sleeping pills. So it wasn't her. Now, they didn't find any trace of a pill bottle, water for her to take the pills down, anything like that, right? Now, this is where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
So
the next thing that the Lord said was that false images and false lives will be exposed and torn down. You can hear that in the little snippet that I'm going to add at the end. He says that people who are showing off will have all their fake lives exposed, whether they're in debt, whether they're in adultery, whether they're secretly homosexual, secretly living trans double lives, but all the while they're modeling, oh, this is the perfect marriage, or they're modeling the perfect Christianity as their primary selling point for their brand, as their primary selling point for their content, for their channel, whatever it is. They're appearing as a happily married couple, all the while they're running some underground swinger ring where people are flying in from Sweden and flying in from Denmark and all over the place once a month to take part in underground parties. But then at the surface level, everyone knows them just as, you know, Bob and Lucette, the lovely Christian couple that fosters children in the area and hands out bags of rice in foreign destinations. God says he's going to basically tear down facades. And this was one of the first things that actually Yah said to me when we were coming into 2025. When I was just praying to him about my own things and just praying, Lord, I pray that this year will be a year that I am able to really step into more with you and able to accomplish this and accomplish that. And God just says that this is a year that's going to expose people for what they are. That's the way he was saying it to me before he put it this way. He said, this is a year that's going to expose people for what they are. He said it's going to be a bare, raw exposure whereby everyone is basically going to be able to see what they are. That means you see you for you. And then he says everybody else is going to see you for you. He said he's going to lay people bare so that you can know what you really are. You can know if you are a good wife, a good husband, or a hypocrite best friend, a hypocrite boss. You're going to know if you are a leech. You're going to know if it's you that never wants to pay your share of the bill. You're going to know if it's you that abuses your friend's time and your friend's leniency by ordering lobster and steak and then saying, let's split the bill, when you saw everybody else trying the Thai salad or just having the lemon pepper wings. And then you went for the $150 Wagyu entree and then 6 mimosas, 6 endless tower mimosas. And then the bill comes and it's $1,000. And then you're saying, let's split it. For some people who never even cracked $60, you're going to know who the abuser is at the table. It's you. And this, let me tell you what that means. Because don't think that people have so much self-awareness that they're going to sit up in the middle of the night and say, it's me that always has the beef. No, God is actually going to allow shaming circumstances to reveal a lot of people to themselves. Someone at the table is going to tell you, it's going to start an argument, your friends are going to record, and they're all going to go on TikTok and talk about you. And you know what TikTok is like? Like, TikTok is a place where people's shame and people's name goes to get buried. To get buried. That one conversation that your other 5 friends are going to have is going to garner 8.1 million views, and it's going to end up on BuzzFeed. It's going to be picked up by Fox News as a little entertainment nugget. And they're going to ask 2 of your friends to come on, and that's how big your story is going to get. God is going to blow you up over the fact that you are a user and an abuser. Exposure. I saw on TikTok in Africa somewhere, a married woman got stuck with a man. I covered that in September September of 2022. I said, you that continues having affairs, you're going to end up in compromising situations in the arm of someone who is not your spouse. She got stuck with the man. Do you think it was taken quietly in that village? These villages are lethal. I said even once of pastors, I said, when you get caught with the wife, they will bring you out naked, you a man of God, and the entire village will lift up phones and film you, and they will also beat you soundly, because there's no respect for so-called man of God once he takes down his pants with a woman that he didn't take vows with. That woman got stuck with that man. They brought them out. The only shame that they afforded them was like a little blanket, and she was screaming because they were being carried by lots of men. And I imagine that the situation of being stuck like that, because that's a muscle spam. That's a muscle spasm, actually. That happens. She was screaming as they were jiggling them to a truck. Guess who's going to be called to meet them at the clinic? It's old boy, the husband. I said to myself, Lord, you do excellent work. You do fantastic, flawless work. Cheating, the caption said, and the husband had been suspecting, but no way to prove it. And Angel Michael was like, I got you. Exposed, laid bare, and we will all be the better for it. Let the spotlights shine on the weak areas, the rot, and on a personal level, allow God to bring certain things to your understanding so that he can deal with them. This includes the trauma. This includes the gaslighting of yourself. Allow him to bring it to the forefront so that you can be vulnerable about it to people who are skilled in Christian counseling, to people who are skilled, to people who have gone through their own trauma and come through it victoriously, so that you can finally admit to him that you have a substance abuse problem, that you have a sex addiction problem, that you are a habitual liar, that you are a kleptomaniac at your big age. Nobody's jewelry is safe around you. Every girl's trip always has to end in one of the Matildas crying while you have the bracelet from her dead mother in your purse. And your sociopathic self will cry along with her and then go and wear it at private events where you know she's not coming. Allow God to shine the light on you so that you can be healed. Otherwise, that bubbling lava lake is on the table. It is an option on the table for your life. It doesn't have to be this year, but many people are on a trajectory headed there. This exposure will be healing. Except for those who God says, false image, false lives. He says he's going to tear all that down. So a lot of these influencers, you're going to find out that that big house that strangely doesn't seem to have much furniture is because they're renting it in the Hollywood Hills. They go in twice a week to film content. They just carry a few things, you know, like a happy marriage picture, put it on the table there, throw a couple of throw pillows to make it look like, oh no, we're just watching the big game. They don't live there. They don't live there. They're living off that content that they make. Same for the reaction video makers. I see these people, you need that coin. You need me. You better pray I stay on this internet so that you can have some content. Because imagine the whole of your life before God. Let's watch this clip. Imagine the sadness of it. Empty drum, nothing inside. Jesus hasn't spoken to them since I don't know when. Empty drum. Using God for content. Using God for clickbait. Then says, I'm playing a role. Christianity, how low you have fallen. That what Christians watch is other Christians watching other Christians. And then this is what is advancing the kingdom of God. Supposedly, quote fingers. As my subscribers from certain places say, I don't know why people, I can just tell it's probably not. They just come and they type, A year of exposure for many people, God said.
Okay, so I saw something in the midst of her speaking, and we have to be careful mixing up the word of God with our personal feelings. So that's really all I want to say about that. But yeah, I think we all see the exposure going on. So she's definitely on to something. Shout out to the Most High though, like, because I do see the movement. I see it.
All right, guys, here's an update on the Abraham Accords. And if you think that it is significant and worthy enough after you get done watching it, maybe consider reposting or sharing it, because it's significant in terms of biblical prophecy. And if you see it how I see it, then that means that we are one day closer to home. And so we need to be really stirring each other up as we see the day approaching. And I would propose to you that we are seeing that day approach. And so with that in mind, let's get on into it. So as I'm sure you guys are aware, President Trump just concluded all of his meetings over there in the Middle East. And so after all of that is concluded, we have this announcement from Mr. Witkoff, who is the senior advisor to President Trump. So let's check out what he says. But he says basically the feel for this entire thing. He says maybe 6 countries, including Armenia, Azerbaijan, and enter peace accords in next couple of months. This article came out May 14th, 2025, and it says down here, it says Steve Witkoff, the senior advisor and assistant to President Donald Trump, shockingly predicted that nations like Lebanon, where the terror group Hezbollah operates from, and Syria, which had an Islamist leader just topple the now former government of dictator Bashar al-Assad, may join Israel in the Abraham Accords. And then it mentions Libya and Armenia and Azerbaijan, as well as a possibility of entering those accords as well. Later on in the same article, he says, my prediction is that sometime relatively soon, we're going to see the potential for Lebanon and even Syria to normalize. And he's talking about normalizing relationship with Israel. It's all centered around Israel. He goes on and it says there have been strong positive reactions from them. It could happen with Libya, it could happen. And I'm talking about getting countries into the Abraham Peace Accords. It could happen with Azerbaijan and Armenia, where we believe we're very, very close to a settlement, a final settlement of the conflicts in those countries. Then down here he says both, I believe, might be willing to join the Abraham Peace Accords. So that's a huge initiative for the president. He believes in it. It promotes peace and stability generally in the region. This is remarkable. And then the article concludes with him saying, again, he says, I'm really confident we're going to have 4 or 5, maybe 6 countries enter the Abraham Peace Accords in the next couple of months. And that will be a big signal to the world about President Trump's foreign policy initiatives to promote peace and stability in the world. Need you to understand and how significant it is that this is Trump's senior advisor saying that he is really confident. And the reason why I say that's significant is because the senior advisor, all the information flows through him to get to President Trump. So he's tracking all of this stuff. And so when he says, I'm really confident, I think we can take that to the bank. But he says he's really confident, and then he says a deadline in a sort from his estimation. He says within the next couple of months for all of this to take place. That's crazy. And then it goes on and it says this is going to be a big signal to the world. And I'm like, man, you have no idea. It is crazy to think about this Abraham Accords as being a potential for what Daniel 9:27 is referencing, but it's a big signal to the world, to the world, to the world. Whoa. Now, as of right now, there are 5 nations who have signed the Abraham Accords with Israel. You have Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. Those are the 5, and there's a speculative 6 more that are going to join. And I want you to think about if those 6 end up joining, then that could start a domino effect for the other ones to join as well. Now, as what we talked about before in regards to the Arab League over there in the Middle East, you have 22 nations that are a part of this Arab League. And as of right now, there are 5 of these that have signed on with the Abraham Accords. And so you have 5. Now, you could say, is that many or is it not? But now I want you to at least imagine that 11, because 6 nations could be signing on in the next couple months. If you add those 6 to the current 5, that brings us up to 11 of the nations in the Arab League that will have signed on to the Abraham Accords. Now, 11 out of 22 is 50%. And so you could make a case for that being classified as being many in the Daniel 9:27 prophecy. But I don't know. I don't know what classifies as many. I don't know if it's going to be 90% of them, 95% of them, 99% of them, or what it actually is referring to. But that is something that you can answer for yourself. But I'm just showing you, and you can make the assumption and see where you land on that. Because remember, in Daniel 9:27, it says, he, the Antichrist, shall confirm a covenant with many. And it's interesting because this confirming a covenant implies that there was an already existing covenant. And that would track with these Abraham Accords. I'm not saying that this is it, but if I had to guess right now, I would say that these Abraham Accords is that covenant. I don't know. I'm just another guy out there in the world trying to figure all these things out just like everybody else. But I'm watching what's unfolding all across the globe, just like many people other people are, and we see this kind of stuff. This is significant. And so confirming a covenant means to strengthen it. And so this seems to imply that the covenant had already existed, which is a check mark in the box in regards to the Abraham Accords, because it has previously existed. But it says it will confirm a covenant with many. And so the question on the table is, what is many with many? How many many? Because if there's 22 nations in the Arab League, how many nations need to sign on in order for this to classify as being many? I don't know. But it's something to try to be sensitive to, because we're seeing there's 5 right now. And if there's 5 right now and then another 6 sign on to that, then that will bring us up to a total of 11. And 11 out of 22, that's many. I don't know. You can answer that for yourself. But all this comes after this trip over in the Middle East, which is why I was looking forward to, because I'm like, I want to see what happens. But Trump just recently stated that the world will be a much safer place in 2 to 3 weeks. He's over there. He's, making all kinds of trillions and trillions of dollars. He's bringing all that money back to America. He's going to make America great again. It's going to be a golden age. It's going to be prosperity and all this kind of stuff. And it is just fascinating to behold. But I need you to understand that when Americans are, rich and prosperous, it is in that type of lifestyle where people are not drawing closer to the Lord. When people are rich and prospering, they typically, not everybody, but so this doesn't apply to everybody, rich people and people who are prospering typically do not really care that much about God, even Christians, because they don't need him. And so it's kind of a heartbreaking situation what's going on right now, because when he brings this all over and America is going to get so wealthy and all that kind of stuff or whatever, you see how dangerous that can become. And so we start to tend to look at ourselves and think about how amazing we are and all the toys that we have, and we lose sight of the big picture. And the big picture is always, it should be the main thing, that should always be the main thing, and that is that Jesus died on the cross, that he was buried, and that he rose again on the 3rd day according to the scriptures. And it is for by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. And so when you think about a nation becoming wealthy, we think that that's a really, really good thing, because how could it not be a good thing, right? But I need you to understand the danger. The danger is that when people become wealthy and rich and rich and rich and rich, like if you won the lottery right now, I would almost argue that you, if you were a born again believer, because myself included, we would be so tempted to do all the things that we want to do. And if we do all the things that we want to do, what we are not doing is the things that we should be doing for the Lord. And so it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about how much money you have. It is about literally, if you're a born again believer, we are on a rescue mission down here. We need to be telling people about Jesus. It's not about how much money you can make. It's not about how cool you look or what kind of car you drive or how strong you are. That is not the focus. The focus right now is telling people about Jesus and trying to win souls. I need you to understand how important this is. And so if you see everything that I see with these Abraham Accords, it means that we are right there. We are right there. And so if you see this, if you understand what is being said and what is going on in the world, and not just this, but what's going on everywhere, and on the rise of AI and the crypto and all this kind of stuff, this possibility of getting everybody onto a system in regards to finances, it's just fascinating. And so it is fascinating, but I want you to understand, If you see that, and if you see what I'm seeing, I want you so badly to be stirred up, because it is important, guys. We are dealing with eternal souls. Every human being that you come across today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day is an eternal soul, and they're gonna spend eternity in heaven or hell. We just need to witness to them to try to win them. Thanks, guys.
It says in Daniel 9:27, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. I see what he's talking about. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. It's like a sacrifice, a religious offering to stop. Okay. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So the overspreading of abominations is like pagan practices and extremely sinful behavior. So he just hit something for me. I don't know about y'all. I grew up real churchy, studying the Bible and all that stuff. So anyway, tell me what you guys think.
They do it to me all the time. They try and raise my heartbeat up, try and give me a heart attack all the time, and they try and do black magic on me all the time. It's funny, really, because the cheap ones that try and do it think that they have these. They do voodoo. They make voodoo dolls too, and they try and pull pins from voodoo dolls, and they're so low down. They think that they're like a lot more powerful than they are. And if somebody tries to do black magic on me, I get images in my head with it hours beforehand. So I'm shown that it's going to happen. So I immediately defend. I mirror it back to them. I could 7 times it, but I don't do that, because that then carries consequences and karma. And I don't need any more of that. Like a voodoo doll?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw one. Somebody built one the other day to do to me.
Okay. How do
I saw them build it.
What is a Babalu and what is Ifa? Let's get into it. Michael B. Jordan just confirmed that he is a practitioner in the Ifa religion, Ifa faith, however you want to say it. Ifa is kind of like an umbrella, and up under that umbrella is the Yoruba traditions with their goddesses and gods. But in the Ifa religion itself, there's only one God, and that is Olodumare. But he's benevolent. He does not involve himself in the day-to-day workings of people. The Orishas, they kind of act as an intercessor between the people and Olodumare. You got it? Cool. So Michael B. Jordan practices this. Allegedly, Beyonce does. Allegedly, 21 Savage is confirmed to have practiced this religion because he was on an interview and he was talking about it. One of the main things that stuck out in that interview for me was him saying that when you do something bad, you have to pay for that. And he also said that he was not going to go into detail of how you pay for that, but I'm going to tell you right now. When people typically in that faith are making atonement for their sins, it's with a sacrifice, be it an animal sacrifice, a sacrifice of yourself in some way, shape, or form. Now, a lot of people are kind of like up in arms about this religion, and then finding out that some of their favorite actors, actresses, singers, they practice this. I don't understand why. Because in anything that is an exchange of power, you have to give up something. These people who have all of this fame, all of this money, more money than they will ever spend in a lifetime, something had to be exchanged for that. Right. Now, going on to something different. This is actually very similar to a lot of things that are found in the Judeo-Christian religion.
If you want me to make a video about that, where those similarities came from, let me know in the comments. But am I surprised about Michael B. Jordan? No. Should other people be surprised? But it is interesting to note, he said that he is a babalu, which is considered more like a high priest, high priestess in the religion. The more you know.
Oh, the confusion. Stay away from the confusion. We're living in the time to where we gotta be sure, you know, what we worshiping, what we sacrificing, what we're doing. We definitely need to be sure in this time. I serve the Most High God. I hope you all do as well. And just because your favorite artists and entertainers are practicing something does not mean that you should practice it as well. We all have, I think we're all here on different missions, you know, so careful now.
The thing with Barron Trump, have you heard that?
Oh yeah,
like,
that's nuts too.
That's wild.
Find that one. That one's nuts too. That one's completely bizarre.
There's a series of books from like, I think it's the late 1800s or something.
Yeah.
About, yeah, it says 1900 here, but it's like a person named Barron Trump goes on these adventures, gets a guy from Manhattan to be his like guide. It's very strange and very similar to like what.
See if you can find what the synopsis, like what connects it to Barron Trump. It seems real weird.
It's just called The Last President.
The Last President. That's kind of crazy. Because if the shit hits the fan and the aliens land, he is the last president. An 1889 novel called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey was written by Ingersoll Lockwood. He would go on to write another book called The Last President in 1900. This mystery which involves the Trump family, Nikola Tesla, time travel, and dark forces.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a castle called Castle Trump.
So he's follows the adventures of a young aristocrat named Barron Trump living in a castle named Castle Trump, which is fucking crazy. The character is described as intelligent, curious, and somewhat arrogant, guided by his mentor Dawn. Barron embarks on fantastical journeys, including one to discover a magical portal in Russia.
Definitely starting to feel like not everything is how they make it seem. Just watch this.
Aren't you perceptive? You know exactly who I am and what I'm capable of. Just like I know exactly what you are. Witch. I can smell the stink of it on you. Well, I didn't expect you to like me. I mean, after all, your kind and my kind have been going after each other for centuries. Though it is kind of like a hammer going after a nail. Everything you got from us. Did you, voodoo slave girl who graced us with her black magic? Into St. Louis, #1. And I have seen the tomb of Laveau. Seen the fat tourists from Little Rock to Hackensack. Drawing crosses on the bricks, making wishes to the bones of Marie Laveau. Little do they know, all they have to do to get their wishes granted was come down here to the 9th Ward and get their hair braided. And what is your wish, witch? I want what you have. Whatever it is that has kept you young all these years.
The hammer wants the nails magic. Oh, that is rich.
Yeah, and you're gonna give it to me.
From the police to the covens. And everyone was already using some form of magic, just voodoo was stronger than theirs. makes you really question some things. And TikTok is just a conspiracy or a curiosity that I have. Well, like and comment and let me know what you think.
Yeah, I figured that the witches got the sauce from the voodoo practitioners. I mean, what's like people be stealing, you know? We know. He looked like old boy on Get Out. Somebody should have took a picture. Flashed the camera, something. He in there stuck, like, help me. Help me.
If you're seeing this anytime between May 4th and May 6th, I'll say before May 7th. May 7th is still pushing, but if you're seeing this on May 4th specifically, I really need you to engage with this. But if you see it before those days, you can. There is a timeline shift going on right now. The timeline shift already happened. I made a video about it when, you know what I'm saying, the veil was thin. As it goes for like May 4th though, the energy is locking in that timeline shift. I have already switched to a different timeline. Before I started seeing people talking about it, numerologists, astrologists, all the people that do astrology and all of that, before I started seeing them on TikTok talking about it or seeing like what is happening, the Schumann resonance, if you don't know what that is, that's like the energy of the planet, and especially in America, and the geostorms that are going on. If you don't know about geostorms, look it up. But I just made a video about ascension symptoms because so many people are changing. The timelines have already changed. The poles have already shifted. There's people already moving and have already moved into where they're going to be in this next timeline. It's already done. And I can say for myself, and probably for you watching this, you have already stepped into your highest timeline. You've been tested. You've grieved. You said goodbye to that past version of you. You shedded yourself of people that no longer serve you. Sometimes friends that no longer serve you. Situations that no longer serve you. Habits that no longer serve you. All of these different things. You went through that grieving process. You went through the lost and confused and introspective. Like, what am I doing? What do I want to do? You went through that because your mind, your guides, spirit guides, God, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, that you work hand in hand with, has already tried to tell you that you need to make a decision, because the energy level and the frequency that you're on and what your subconscious mind is focused in on is going to manifest at a rapid speed. You don't want to get caught up in the wave of people that are just going with the flow and they don't have no direction of what they want for their soul. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know how. But there's a shift going. Listen to me when I'm telling y'all. There is a shift going. I wish I could look every single one of y'all dead in y'all face so y'all can understand how serious I want to. The shift has already happened. It's not like, oh, it's already happened. But as far as today, this is when you really should feel the timeline shift. I have been seeing buildings, parks, and all type of stuff spawn out of nowhere streets that I've drove past with buildings I've never seen. Listen to what I'm saying. People are running up against animals they've never seen in their ecosystem, like in their area. Y'all know what happened. I think it was in Spain where the power went out. Y'all gotta understand. Everything happens for a reason. And I have been very woke throughout my entire life. They call it a indigo child, bruh. And I've never felt how I feel now. And I feel like I've passed the test. And I'm already in the timeline. And I feel like all the hardship, all the friction, all the ascension symptoms, the fatigue, the brain fog, the confusion, all of those things that I went through that made me have to take a step back, the solitude, everything that I was questioning, I was doing, I was really, the last month or two, leaning into it, which is something that's a little bit different than what I've done. I've always been kind of introspective. When I go through things, I'm like, oh, let me go through this. But I usually go through the thing after actually been, like the test has been presented to me. I'll finish the test After the test is presented to me, I'm like, oh, put it in the back burner. I'm gonna work on this, and third. But the last couple of months, I have been leaning into it. Really anxious, let me lean into it. What is making me anxious? Why am I acting like this? Understanding that my light has to be shined. What are my gifts? What do I want to do? What makes me feel passionate? What can I do here on earth? Because when you sign that soul contract, there's a reason. And I do believe that certain people sign up for bigger roles. And for me, I feel like I had to lean into so many weaknesses of mine so that I can be aware of them, so I can help heal them. Because the timeline that I'm moving into, these fears, the fear mindset, the lack of mindset, certain people cannot come with me. Certain mindsets, certain habits cannot come with me. And I genuinely feel as if I just timeline shifted. I felt it. And I know so many other people have felt it. And if you feeling it, it's not for no reason. There's a timeline shift going on. You need to get grounded in your energy. You need to rest if you feel like you need to rest. That energy that's telling you that something needs to change, you need to act on something, act on it. Don't be impulsive. Don't try to fix something that is already been proven that you shouldn't be trying to fix. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the time to be trying to fix that relationship with that person that you know is toxic, or go back to that job that you feel hated in because you strong enough to be there. No, this is the time to shed yourself of all of these things. Step into the unknown, because it can be scary, but step into it. Lean into the unknown. Lean into your strengths. Lean into knowing your weaknesses. All of these things, I guarantee you, be grounded. Figure out what your heart desires, not with the money and all of the, which money can come with your heart's desire. Understand that God's plan and your plan can go hand in hand. But don't dwell on the past. This is not the time to try to fix, like, I don't want to say not to fix the cycles, because the cycle will be fixed when you shed and you walk away from certain cycles, because now it's time for you to go into a whole nother cycle, a whole nother timeline. You're not supposed to be here doing this. You're supposed to be like this. You see what I'm saying? You stepping into a whole new light. It's not time to try to fix something by force. You're not supposed to forcibly fix something. It's time for you to take a step back and look around and be like, I don't need to know how. What do I want? What do my soul want? Why? Is it gonna... That's what you need to be thinking about. Stay grounded. Right. For real. Ground. For real. Rest. Hydrate. And get mental peace and hold on to that. That's all I gotta say. Like, share, comment, follow for more. Welcome to the new earth, baby. We made it. Look.
Around this time that she's talking about, I did ask to be on my highest timeline, and that's interesting because, yeah, I feel like we all should be asking that, and for the people that feel like they may have missed it, no, don't do that. Keep sending those requests. Keep sending those requests. Okay? All right, okay, all right, all right, okay, all right now.
Stop it. Get some help.
Well, this concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Give this video a big thumbs up. Shout out to all the creators. Go like, follow, and comment on their videos. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Be blessed. Peace. We out. Thank you for being a real one, for being a chill one, for hitting the sub button. Thank you for showing me love. Yeah, y'all some good vibes.